louder. I had a few ideas before bed, so I have to reload my thoughts. Initially, I think on my last couple uploads, I'm gonna take these pillows from under me. This car, I'm a small person, but this car makes me feel bigger. So I have to adjust. But I do put little cushions because I'm used to working long. So, but I haven't have a need to sit in the car for long. But anyways, bringing value here to the space. There's someone out there that needs to hear this. Along the way on my journey of being on this path, within the last 10 days, I did come across an individual. And you know what? I was more than happy to talk to him because he's 26, I believe, and he is where I was 5 years ago. I would say the term spiritual, but yeah, this is feeling stronger than, one of them air fresheners. Yeah, it's actually getting to me. Usually it doesn't, I guess, because this car is a little more compact. So I spoke to this individual. They were my Uber driver, and I was going through this. Well, not really, but it was getting there. Like, my car broke down, right? And I just got the new job. Now, it would have been worse without the job because it's gonna be an expensive fix, which I don't know the amount yet, but I just know I didn't have the money at the time, which I'm still working on it, but it's gonna be an expensive fix. So my car broke down, and I'm like a couple of days into training, and it's kind of, having me, putting me in a position to have to figure it out. And I'm trying to just be me, show up when I'm supposed to show up, get things done, and get from point A to point B. I don't have other worries, which is like kids to attend to, even though I've been playing that role for the better half of 4 years. Things are changing back to normal, where it's just me. So the car breaking down, I'm still thankful that I secured the job. I didn't see it coming. I just knew I was, putting a lot of, wear and tear in my car. So I just knew that at that rate, as I mentioned before, I should probably be either paying that car off or trading it. And I'm not interested in trading it. A newer car is not something I need right now. If I could just have go back to a used car, that's what I would do. But I'm gonna stick to the old horse that I've been riding. It's nowhere near. I may have to just fix a couple things in it, but it's nowhere near needing of a switch up. But I do put a lot of wear and tear on that car. But it's fairly new compared to a lot of cars that I've had in my past. It's probably, yeah. So I'm going through all of that, and I went to get a rental, and there's a lot of loopholes. The place I usually go to doesn't have any more cars. But, I got to figure out a way the next day to get to work. And, the pressure just kept on tightening up. So, went to the alternatives and still getting turned away. And at the same time, it started seeming like everybody, well, not everybody, but obstacles in front of obstacles. Now that I'm thinking about it, this is a choice thing. This is my choice put me in that position. Not people that I was coming across. It's not my car. Actually, my car been holding it together for the better half of the year. Whatever issue that came about, I may have ignored it, just trying to get to the next thing, and putting the main thing aside, which was a trip, my birthday trip in April, and this last trip in June. But anyways, I went throughout the day. I left work early to go take care of that, and then I couldn't get the car, and I think it was a Friday, so I knew that for the weekend I had no way of making money, and now that I'm working a traditional job, I have to wait for a bi-weekly check, and you miss one bi-weekly check, technically not paid for a month. So that's the position I'm in now. Now, starting as of tomorrow, I'm a week away from that whole entire month paycheck. So I'm gonna be getting a month worth of paycheck because my payment thing wasn't situated, so I didn't get paid for the first 2 weeks, which is fine. I was going through that process. I put together like a little bit of money, and Tuesday I finally got me a rental, and during the time I used a friend car, which I mentioned in previous videos, to get by. I even did Uber Eats to make sure I could pay little stuff, eat, gas, because not getting paid for a month is not something I anticipated or was prepared for, because I do have a little backup money, but I had my finger crossed that nothing major would happen till November, because that's when I have access to that fund. But even when I do access that fund, it's not really for instant gratification or payment. It's a backup if I get into a jam, but that's not what that money's for. I'm putting away money for greater causes. But back to the initial time where I went to get the car, and I finally felt at a breaking point. I was gonna go to a third location. Then I'm like, nah, if I keep pushing it, I might actually snap. It's better to be the one that quit while I'm ahead. So I just said, you might as well stop while you're ahead. So I canceled the Uber instead of going to New Jersey and paying more than the money I had at the time. I called an Uber home. And that's when I met the young man that I said is 26 years old. He's where I was 5 years ago. I'm not going to go into details of what he brought up, but personally for me, I just felt very, very low. I was very low on myself. I was living in the past. That's what I came to the realization. I think it's like 5 years later, early this year, I was like, oh, that's what happened. Everything was living in the past. And even sometimes now, even when it's not in the past, living in the future as well could be problematic. So the solution is to live in the present. But after talking to this young fella, now that I'm 30, I could call him at 26 a young fella, because I was 25 when I was going through my thing, and I didn't know if I